All right. Well, I just want to let you guys know Scott will be back. I'm going to sit in for him today because, well, he needed a little help because, well, I'm just kind of kidding here. I'm actually Scott and I look different because I have glasses. And so for you, all of you that do not know, I've never owned glasses. I'm 48 years old, probably should have owned glasses over the past 5 years. But now I am an officially glasses wearer and I'm struggling because these are progressive lenses, meaning they're kind of like a bifocal, but more modern, right? I can graduate. So anyway, I've got this pair. I'm going to do something different here today. I can't really, everything is skewed for me right now. Like if anybody has used progressive lenses, you guys understand what I'm saying. Like right now, everything is wonky. I feel like I went into a fun house, like at the fair. Everything is kind of like moving, right? But when I get it right, everything's nice and clear. I can see the screen really good because I'm looking down. I look at you now and I can see you because I'm looking through that right part of the lens. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to wear these the entire time for today. Well, I will after I get off. I just don't know about doing this jam session, but I do want your opinion on something. I've got two different pair. I bought two pair. I've got these and I've got another pair that I'm going to want your opinion on. And I see that we already have someone that already made a comment here. Four eyes, four eyes. Good morning, Scott. That's beautiful. Yes, I am four eyes now. And I feel a little different. It's funny. My good friend, my good friend, I wanted to say it's not him either. Wait a minute here. Lise. It's not Joe Herman. It's Todd Herman. Todd Herman. The reason why I got confused, my one good friend, who's also a financial advisor, Joe Herman, and then you have Todd. And Todd is the one that wrote the book, The Alter Ego, and it's about wearing glasses. And the glasses are supposed to make you for him, it's kind of like Superman, right? You put them on, you take them off kind of thing. Well, Superman, he takes them off, he becomes something, and then you're a different person. I don't know if I feel that. I feel a little weird. So yeah. All right. So here we go. So today I'm actually getting used to this right now by looking at you and then looking down. I'm going to want your opinion. I am going to put one pair on, take it off, put the other pair on. I want you to tell me which ones you like better. I already did this yesterday. And Salma says, you look wiser. Ruth says, good morning, Scott. I love the glasses. You're looking sharp. Are you just saying that, Ruth? Come on. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me to see myself in glasses. Although my son said I looked pretty good. And so did my wife. So I guess that's all that matters. If your family, and especially your wife, says you look good in glasses. So we'll see. We'll see. But man, things are really kind of weird with these on. It's different than just regular glasses having progressive lenses. Like my screen right now looks like it's skewed, like the top is wider than the bottom. It's just weird. And then when I move my head, everything kind of is squishy. So anyway, this is not going to be about wearing glasses on today's jam session. What it is going to be about is writing your first blog post. I get that question a lot. Is Scott, what do I write? And then how do I write it? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to really go through some basic principles on really understanding what to write about. Okay. But then once you understand that, how do you format it? How do you write something, especially if you're writing something on a question, right? One question, you say to yourself, how do I write 1,500 words on that? I mean, it doesn't have to always be 1,200 or 1,500 words. I'd like it to be, but it can be. And it usually is for me. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about here is, Scott, how do I write my first blog post? Do you have any advice for me? And I do. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a formula to follow. And I actually got a little bit of a hack that will make this pretty easy for you to also be able to use. So you look great. Welcome to the club, brother. So I think that's Octavio, and I can't see on the monitor here. So guys, if you are here live, drop in the chat if you can see and hear me. And it's weird because it seems like Facebook and YouTube is not sending out notifications that I'm live. Let me know, did you get a notification that I was live? I'm just curious. I always want to keep an eye on that. Also, in some other news, we decided to do our first Fast Track workshop of 2021. And that one is going to be on finding your niche and validating it. And really from there, mapping out your roadmap. So we're calling it Niche Finder Fast Track Workshop. There is a date attached to that. It is going to be January 20th. That is a Wednesday. And we're going to be doing it at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Like all fast tracks, like all the workshops, we are going to be doing this in under 3 hours, most likely be 2 hours, but it'll be 2 hours of training, probably an hour of Q&A. And what it's really going to be designed for is, number one, discovering your niche. Okay. And what I mean by that is going through some exercises to explore some niches that you could potentially go into, really how to discover these. And then from there, we're going to go into validation. It's really validating two parts, traffic and monetization. And then from there, the last part is going to be next steps, building the brand. Like, what are the next steps to actually start putting those pieces together? So that's what it's going to be for. It's a huge problem for a lot of people. I even know that there's people that are here on the Coffee Talk, not maybe today, but there's people that come in and they watch even later. And it's always like, you know, I need to do the blog writing. I need to do the email list building thing, but I'm not really sure if my niche is the right niche. So that's a problem. We need to solve it. That's what we're going to be doing to kick off 2021, because I know that it will help a lot of people. And if you are, if you're interested, then I'm going to give you the details to that. And actually, I should probably create this little banner. Let's see if I can do this wearing glasses. Yeah, I can actually. Check this out. So, well, I don't know about this. I can't really see my keyboard that well. I have to look at a certain way. So let me see here. Let me see if I got the link right. Yeah, if you go to, that should be the right link. Let me just test it. And let's see. Oh, actually, I can't give you that link yet. So here's what I want you to do. I can't give you that link yet because it's only for the email I just sent out, and it'll have a tracking thing there that'll put you on the early list. What you can do is just send me an email, scott@brandcreators.com if you are interested, or just drop a comment right here that you are interested in attending that Niche Finder Fast Track workshop. I should have did a better job of creating that. That page, the order page, will be ready on Monday. We do have an early bird list that we're going to be doing, that we're going to be sending out an email before Monday, probably most likely Sunday, Sunday afternoon. And then Monday will be officially opening for registration, and that'll be for like a week and a half. And then we're going to be doing it obviously on Wednesday. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. If you are in Brand Creators Academy, you don't need to do anything. You're already going to be getting this. Not that you need it, because a lot of it's already taught inside of the 30-day roadmap. But we are going to create this, and we're going to plug that into stage one of the brand building process. So let's see here. Are you going to send an email link to sign up? Yes, Salma. Actually, Chris is working on the page right now as we speak, actually. So we should have that ready by this afternoon, but I'm not going to be sending it out publicly until Monday. But anybody that's on the early bird list, or if they email me like you already have, I'll be sending that link to you privately. Let's see. And Jason says, did your IQ go up? Oh, glasses. Yeah, it's okay to laugh. It's good. Looks good. Looking good, Scott. Well, thank you. I hope you're not just saying that. Do I look a little bit more intelligent now? Do I look a little bit more like I know what I'm talking about? What's up, Troy? Good morning. Oh, Juan says, I am interested. Okay, cool. Juan, what I'll probably end up doing is, if you want to send me either an email, or I can just direct message you that. So what I'll do is I'll make a note of that, and we'll go ahead and do that. And then let's see, Derek, do an ad on Google, get response as good as YouTube. I think what Derek's asking is a question about Google ads versus YouTube ads. We can talk about that another maybe later. I'll do it later. The first thing that we're going to dig into here in the jam session, I'll officially kick it off here when we do, because we're going to record this and then put it on the podcast. If you guys are here on the Coffee Talk, you guys kind of get the behind the scenes where I'm kind of just rambling here a little bit and talking about some different things. So Derek, we'll answer that towards the end of the jam session. Okay. Salama says, you look sophisticated. Thank you. Alejandro, with or without glasses, it's always Superman. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's do this. The other thing is, if you are just attending this for the first time and you want to attend more of these, or you want to be put on our special morning crew list, head on over to takeactioncrew.com and you will be able to do that there. There's also a smart player there that will go back through all of the past coffee talks and you can search through there. So that's there for you as well. It's a free resource. And you're more than welcome to join us like this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. All right. Let's see. Oh, Juan says, no worries. I'll log in through the brand creator website. Yeah. If you're already in the academy, you are going to get access to this at no additional charge. Oh, and by the way, I should have said that for the first 50 that register, it's going to be $27. So $27. Okay. So I figure it's super affordable for anyone that's interested and serious about, really validating out their niche. And really the thing is when you're doing this, this is the most critical part of this whole thing, because if you can go into building your brand with confidence that there's enough traffic and there's plenty of ways to monetize, then you can start building. Right. Then we don't have to keep talking about like, well, I don't know if this is the right niche, or I don't know if I should create content about that. Right. So even if you have a brand and you want to niche down, this would probably help you, because a lot of times people don't see those other opportunities. I just did a hot seat call the other day and we explored a different angle for this one niche. So we kind of sub-niched inside of the main niche. So we'll be going through all that stuff. There'll be real examples, some that I've never done before. So we're going to actually do some niche drill downs live, but we're going to go through a discovery session. Then we're going to go through a validation session and how to do that, a workbook. And then from there, we're going to actually go through live and do some of these niche drill downs. And I may even take a few beforehand of some of our attendees to submit just some niches that they want us to do live. And we'll do that as well. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and first off, check out the new specs, guys. If you guys are just tuning in, yes, it's me, and I am wearing glasses. And so, you know what? While I have a bunch of you on right now, let's do this. Let's call this pair number one. Okay, pair number one. This is before we do the jam session, guys. So if you guys are here and you found this on a search on YouTube or something, I apologize. You might want to skip ahead. So here we go. That's what I used to look like. All right. And here we go. Pair number two. What about these? Another set, another pair. Now these are a little bit more narrow, and they are, they feel the same as far as, how I'm looking and stuff, smaller lens. What do you think? Pair number two, pair number one. There we go. These are a little bit lighter, actually. What do you think? Ooh, Juan says number two already in there. Wow. It's funny because I did the same thing, and I haven't been posting on Instagram at all. I did a little Instagram story yesterday as a, what do you like, A or B better? And this was A, and this was B. And I'll tell you which one won on Instagram out of about 220 people that gave me their feedback. Doug says, I like pair number one. I date you in a different life, Scott. Troy. Oh, Troy, always you, buddy. Okay, cool. All right. If you guys are still putting that in there, please help me out. Pair one, pair two. Let me know. I like pair number. Okay, that was Doug. Okay, cool. Let's do it. I'm going to keep these on. I'm supposed to wear them all day regardless, which is going to be really hard for me because if you were looking through these right now, things are whacked really, to put it bluntly. They're out of whack. Like my screen is like skewed. My board is moving over here. It's really whack. They're progressive lenses. Cool. Cool. I'm getting some mixed here. I like this. And at the end, I'll give you my results on Instagram, which I did a story last night. I have not posted there. So I'm like, if I get a few people to tell me they're, I'd be interested. And I had over 220, I think, people already respond. I'll look and see what it is up to now. Pretty funny though. All right, cool. So let's do this. All right. So here's what I want to do before we get rocking and rolling is I want you guys to understand that writing your first blog post actually is going to be the worst blog post that you ever write. Yes, I just said that, and I mean it. And it's okay, because when you are starting, you're always going to be getting better at it. But now if I can give you some guidelines and some rules to follow, it'll help you. Okay. It'll help you be less bad. Okay. But with that being said, there's stuff that we wrote on a case study brand. Actually, 2 of them inside of the Academy. And if you look back at the first post, you're like, oh my gosh, wasn't that good? Things ranking though. We're getting traffic from that article. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to preface that. Okay. All right. So here we go. Jam session officially about to start. Here we go. Sip of coffee. Here we go. Man, when I'm looking down, that stuff is really weird. It's clear when I get it locked in, but man, oh man, it's all about pointing with the nose. That's what the doc tells me. Got to point with the nose. Point with the nose. Where do you want to look? All right. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another Friday jam session. And if you are watching this, then you see a different version of Scott. Yes, that's right. I'm wearing glasses right now. And if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, well, you can't see it and you might want to go over and check it out. I will link this up in the show notes. So this way here, you can see how different I look. And I've been getting some feedback here from my morning crew saying they look great. Well, that's good, but don't your friends always tell you you look great? Come on, give me some honest stuff here. I want to really know how I look. All right. Anyway, with that all being said, guys, this is a Friday jam session. This is where I sit down with a group of people in the morning on Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we jam on a topic. Now, today's topic is going to be a good one. And this is, Scott, how do I write my very first blog post? And how do I do it in a way that I have a chance of ranking for Google traffic? How do I do that? So I'm going to walk you through a framework. All right. And I'm not going to make this complicated. We can make it complicated. No reason to. Okay. Now, I want you to understand this as well. Having a piece of content that is out there on the internet is way better than having a piece of content in draft that's not published. That's a fact. Okay. You have a much greater chance of a piece of content ranking if it actually is live on your website. There's a lot of people that they have them in draft. They've gotten them written. They're like 80% of the way there, 90% of the way there. But then what they do is they wait. They got it in draft. I got to go back and check it and check some images and check the wording and make sure spelling, like all that stuff. Make sure my Yoast is, my Yoast plugin is all making sure everything's green. I'm ready. And tomorrow I'm going to hit publish. No, just hit publish. That's what I want you to do. That's like big takeaway right there. Your first article, your first piece of content is going to be your worst piece of content you'll ever write, most likely. And that's okay. I remember my wife and I, when we started photography, we were doing a lot of test images. And funny story, back then we didn't have digital. So we had to actually get a roll of film, 36 exposure, 35 millimeter, take the pictures, test our lighting, bring it to the 1 hour photo, and then get the pictures back and go, oh, that looked terrible. Oh, that looked better. And then we would learn that way. So things are a lot easier today, just as they are with creating content on the internet. So with that all being said, the reason why I'm saying that is because we looked back at some of our first pictures that we got paid for. And we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we let people have them, right? They just did not look good to us anymore. To the homeowner or the customer, they look great. It's their kid. They weren't looking at the shadowing. They weren't looking at, oh, our backdrop had a little bit of a wrinkle in it, like whatever. To us, as we got better and we learned more, we obviously refined things. That happens. Okay. And there's probably a situation right now that you're thinking to yourself, yeah, that happened to me. I look back at some stuff and I cringe, but I did it and it worked. And, my customers were happy, but I'm not happy with that result because I can do better because I've learned. Okay. So your first piece of content is going to be your worst piece of content. I mean that in a good way, though. There's content that we've created right now. There's 2 test brands, case studies that we're doing inside of Brand Creators Academy. And each of those started with 1 article. Right now, we're probably on the one, we're over 200 articles, and the other one, we're probably approaching 200. Those first articles are probably getting more traffic than some of the newer content. Now, that's not always going to be the case, but what I'm trying to say is that content still ranks, even though everything wasn't formatted the way we like it. The images weren't as good, right? We made some mistakes with tagging or, interlinking, any of that stuff, okay? And I'm going to go over that stuff with you guys so you have a simple framework to follow. And I'm going to give you guys one little hack that will allow you to write a blog post very, very simply. And basically, Google's going to tell you what to write. All right. So the very first thing that I want to say here is when you are creating your first piece of content, I would not suggest you creating what we call an epic piece of content. What does that mean? An epic piece of content is something that is really, really in depth, really girthy. My son loves it when I say the word girthy because I always say that a lot with like breads or dense, girthy, dense. But really, it's something that has a lot more substance. And it takes sometimes longer to write that. Now, there's a place for that. Okay, there's a place for that. It's kind of like the main trunk of the tree, right? You have this big, massive trunk. Then we got these limbs coming off it that are smaller. Some of them are fatter, some of them are smaller. But those are our filler posts, or those are our posts that are supporting the tree. Okay. And that's really what we should be thinking about. Now, you would say, yeah, but Scott, you can't put limbs on a tree if you don't have the trunk. True. So to me, the trunk, a lot of times, and the main thing is the website. That's our home base. Everything stems off of that. Now we can go a little bit deeper and go, okay, yeah, but we can plant trees and in that tree could be an epic post. It could be. But bottom line is, I would rather start with more pieces of content than waiting a month to get 1 post done. Okay. It makes sense. If you broadcast seed out there, on your lawn, some of it's going to catch and some of it's not. Right. But if you only went out there and you took 2 little seeds of grass and you go, bing, and you dropped it down there, neither of them might catch. Maybe 1 will. So what we want to do is we want to broadcast. Okay. And I like to go after question-based posts first. There's 3 different types of posts. First one, questions. Second one, how-tos. Third one, product-based. Now you can mix and match those, but when you're starting, your very first post should be questions because you can do a lot more of them and they're easier to rank for. So the question I always get is, Scott, well, how do you write a 1,500 word article on a question? How does that even happen? Okay. It's very, very simple. Okay. Think about your article as blocks. Okay. So if someone was asking a question about how to catch, can you catch bass in a pond at night? That's a long tail search. A lot easier to rank for, less traffic, but easier to rank for. And the cool thing is when we start to rank for these littler posts, Google also starts to recognize that, oh, well, we're trusted now. Like we're starting to prove ourselves to Google. Okay. So there's some positive things that come in there to play. So you always start with the question. Okay. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to answer the question pretty quickly in the first paragraph, but you're going to elaborate on that answer that you just gave them. And now sometimes it might be something like, the reason why you can catch bass in a pond at night is because fish or bass are really active at night because of their, certain, whatever, schools of fish or what, I don't know. I'm making stuff up on the fly. You're going to elaborate on the reason why, and then more of a background on, like, so if I was talking about a fishing lure, I could say, yes, you can use because it could be like, can you catch bass with a silver lure? Yes, you can catch a bass with a silver lure. And the reason is because the reflective coating attracts attracts them over to it and acts as a minnow. The reason why they like minnows is because blah, 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 right? And then you can start going down that road. Now, one little hack that you can do here is type in your search inside of Google. And then as you do that, you're going to see related questions. Those related questions can be your subtitles and your sub content inside of the main content. They're basically telling you what those related questions will be that you could then take those and put those into your piece of content. Now, the interesting thing here that will happen is you are going to rank for your main keyword, and now you could potentially rank for the subtitle 1, the subtitle 2, the subtitle 3, because those are also coming from Google and they gave you those. So a little hack there for you, right? So if I do a quick little search here, if I can see my computer with these new glasses, I'm going to put in here, can you catch bass? And it says in the winter, immediately is coming up in the winter. So I'm going to go with that search. Okay. There's a question. Now, if I scroll down a little bit, people also ask, do bass bite when it's cold? Where do largemouth bass go in the winter? Can you catch bass on top water in winter? There is 3 separate areas of the main post, which is, can you catch bass in the winter? You would go on about if you can or not, right? And then you would say, another question a lot of people want to know is, do bass bite when it's cold? And the answer is yes, and here's why. Boom. Okay. But then also a question that comes up is, where do largemouth bass go in the winter? You would answer that. And then the last one here is, can you catch bass? And, then it would say like, so another question would be, can you catch bass on top water in winter? And the answer is no. And here's why, whatever it is, maybe you can. You see where I'm going with this, right? So I'll do another example here. Let's go with Ken. And all I'm doing is a quick, and you guys can't see me. If you can't see me right now, well, you can't see my screen anyway, but I'm kind of walking through this. Can you catch bass in the winter? Can you catch bass at night? So I go to that one. People also asked, how do you catch largemouth bass at night? Can you use lures at night? What is the best time of day to catch largemouth bass? What kind of fish can you catch at night? All of those questions can be inside of the main post. So I just outlined it. So if all you did was wrote 400 words per section, okay, we've got 1,600 there because there's 4. And then if you just did 4 on the other one, I mean, you're talking, we're over 1,500 words on just that right now. So that's what you need to think about. Now, the one thing I do want to say, and this is going to get a little geeky, I guess, as far as like looking at the, kind of like good practice for SEO purposes, is when you are writing an article and optimizing the article, you have what we call an H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag, H4 tag. Okay. You're going to hear that stuff kind of thrown around. H1 is your title. Okay. That's your main title. That's the thing that's in your URL, in your website, right? It's going to say it. It's also what we call a permalink. So that is going to be what is identifying your page. It's got the most weight, okay? Now, H2 would be another section, okay? Another section. So let's say that the H2 now would be, so in this case, let's go, can you catch bass at night? Boom, H1. Okay. Inside that article, we write a paragraph about that, 400 words, 500 words, whatever, and whatever it needs to be. And then from there, we create a subtitle or like another header or heading, right? That's going to be an H2. Now, underneath the H2, if you wanted to put, let's say that there was like bullet points or there was other things inside of there that were important, those would be H3s. So H2s would be subs. H3 would be a sub underneath the H2. So again, getting a little geeky here. And I'm no SEO expert, but this is like basic principles when writing an article. And then once we're done with that, we would move down to another one. Can you use lures at night? That would be an H2. And then if I had something under there that I wanted to be bolded in a sense, that to bring to their attention, that would be H3. And if there was something below that, it'd be an H4. But again, I wouldn't even get that crazy. When I was writing the first article, not even me, but when I had them written, the first articles that I was writing for these case study brands, we didn't like go, okay, we want to get, H1 and then H2s and then H3s. We didn't even do that. Now we do, but we didn't do that in the beginning. In the beginning, it was about, let's just get that stuff out there. So I wouldn't worry about making sure that everything is perfect as far as that goes. It's best practice, but it doesn't mean you won't rank. Now, one little tool that I would use if you're using WordPress is Yoast. Yoast is a free plugin. They do have a paid version too, but we use the free version, and it just gives you a checklist. So as you're going through, you're basically going to look and see if you are meeting all of the criteria. Now, one little side note, don't live and die by that, right? Don't go, oh, it's orange, it's yellow, it's no good, it needs to be green. Right? You don't have to stress about all of it. Just get it close. Okay. And then hit publish. All right. So how do you write your first blog post? Number one, you do a little bit of research, and I would start with questions. Always start with questions. Can you catch bass at night? Can you catch bass in the winter? Questions, right? Start with those. And I would gather 5 to 10 right away. Okay. Then I would do a Google search and I would look at those people also asked area. So in this case, can you catch bass at night? How do you catch largemouth bass at night? Can you use lures at night? What is the best time of day to catch largemouth bass? What kind of fish can you catch at night? Those would be the ones. Okay. And then if I wanted to also, I could click on inside of that, or I could even just copy, how do you catch largemouth bass at night? See, I've narrowed it down a little bit, and then I can look at those. So if I started with that as my keyword, my seed keyword, let's call it, how do you catch largemouth bass at night? Okay, that would be the main subject maybe, or main title. Then the subtitles would be, what do you use for bass at night? Can bass see lures at night? What's the best time of day to catch largemouth bass? Are bass attracted to light at night? All of those are related to how do you catch largemouth bass at night? And that's all that Google wants. They want it to be relevant. And if you're writing about those areas, that's basically going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. That's it. So if I was, your teacher in school, I'd go, okay, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that. How do you catch largemouth bass at night? And I want you to give me a 400-word article on that, which is pretty simple. Then I want you to take those other 4 and do the same exact thing. And I want you to hand that paper in by tomorrow. Okay. So you have today to do it. Everyone should be able to do that. Okay. And that's it. Then we're going to want to sprinkle in some images. So another part of writing your first blog post, you want to have images. One big mistake that I see a lot of people making is they will just take an image from a stock site. Okay. Unsplash is one that's well known. And if you haven't used it, you should go there. I'm not an affiliate for them, but they have good images. So it's Unsplashed, I think it is. Go there. If you have Canva and you have the Canva Pro version, you can use those. That's in there too. It's like $10 a month, or I think they have some free ones there too. But you don't want to just download the image and upload the image on your website. What you want to do is you want to use those as more opportunities to use keywords. So if you're going to take one of those images, download it, rename it, and maybe it's going to be a picture of a guy fishing in his boat on a pond at night. And then you would say, the title of that would be, how do you catch largemouth bass at night? And that would be the picture. And then you might have another one. What do you use for bass at night? And then you might have another picture that has bait. And then you would say something like, what type of bait to use at night for bass? Like something like that. Just something related. Doesn't have to be the exact match, but here's the deal. It helps to also let Google know what the site is about, what your images are about. And you can also rank in Google Images. And then you can start getting backlinks because people will find your images and then they'll just copy your images or copy from where they're located and embed them on their site. You're going to get a backlink from that automatically, which we're not even going to get into backlinking. We don't need to. Okay. So that's what I would do. Start with questions, go to Google. Okay. Do that search, look at the people also asked area, use those as your subheads, your H2s, and then write it and then hit publish. If you want to download Yoast or any tool that helps you with like SEO to make sure that you've done all the right things, or at least close, download that and hit publish. Add some images to make it a little bit more, worthy to the eye, where you can actually go through and go, oh, it's this, it's kind of like a magazine, right? We don't want to just see all text. We want to break it up. Okay. And that's it. That's where I would go right now. I wouldn't do anything else. That's the formula that I would follow. That's the formula that we're following right now as we speak. And we're cranking out some good content, and both sites are getting over 25,000 page views as we stand right now. And it's growing. It's growing every single month now. So that's what I would recommend. Hopefully this helped you. And, the biggest thing is just deciding to create that piece of content and hit and publish, and then moving on and learning from it and finessing it. And the cool thing is you can always go back and improve it if you want to. You can always go back and edit it. Okay. One last thing that I didn't mention that I will mention now. Once you start having some articles up, it is a good idea to start linking internally to those. So if you did one on night fishing tips for catching bass, and that was like kind of like more of maybe an epic post, or let's just say it wasn't an epic post, and then you were talking about fishing lures for night, you could link those two together, and that gives you cross-linking, which also Google likes. So that's also somewhat of a ranking factor. So again, not to get too geeky, but interlinking is also good. So that's best practices. That's what I would do to write my very first blog post. All right, guys. So that wrapped it up. I did pretty good with my glasses, a little wonky still, but I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. All right. So I'm going to look at these questions. We're going to go ahead and, okay. I got some, let's see here. Okay. Kay says, I wear glasses too. So I think they look great. Thanks. Let's see. Might want to tool around with the lighting to reduce the glare. Yeah. See, I can see if I'm up here, I see the glare. If I'm here, I don't, right? Yeah. So I think it's head location too. I could tip up the light a little bit. Not terrible. But yeah, I get what you're saying. If I'm over here, you're going to see it. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Let's see here. Okay. Salma, what lessons have you learned from previous 2 workshops? Have you changed anything for the 3rd workshop? Will you still do it twice live? Great question. And what have I learned? To just do it. Basically that's it in a nutshell. I'm not changing anything. What I learned was just to do it. I think even the first one that I did, even though I've done it over and over and over again in the past, you always start to overthink it too. You start to overthink it. So the only, I don't want to say I didn't learn it, but I think I realized once again that just set the date like I just did, right? January 20th, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's set in stone now. That's when we're going to show up. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you. For $27, you're going to get myself, Chris Schaefer, for 3 hours, and we're going to walk you through how to discover your niche, how to validate the niche, and then how to build out your roadmap moving forward. That is what's going to be learned for $27. It's done now. Now done. It's set, right? Now I'm going to go and create the content that's going to be delivered. I have not done that yet. Now, do I have a lot of content to pull from? I do. We have a workbook inside of Brand Creators Academy, which I'll probably be working off of that workbook. It's a new workbook we just had done probably about a month ago. And it's for stage 1, the niche validation stage. So we'll be working off of that. And then I will build my content around that. This is actually a little bit easier for me because I'm going to be taking niches and then running through my checklist live so you get to see it. So to me, it's how do you make it easy for you to show up, deliver good value, and not complicate it? So again, the reminder is this. I'm not building out a big sales page for this. On Monday, you're going to see a very basic checkout page that is going to probably take Chris an hour to build. And the only reason why it's going to take an hour is because wording. We have to figure out, like, how do we want to phrase this? What are we going to offer for an order bump, which we had to talk about. So those are like, it's just really deciding on what it's going to say. But I think the biggest thing is just setting it as far as setting it up, as far as the date goes, and then just executing it. It's getting out of your own way. What's up, D? Good morning. If you are embedding a video in a blog, would it have exactly same info? Yeah, it would, because some people are going to want to read, some people are going to want to watch. So a cool way of doing that would probably be easier, would be to create the video first and then have it transcribed and edited that way. That way there, it really matches well. But yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do it, for sure. And also, I should have said this too when I was talking about the content side of things. If you have a video that is not even you, if you find a video on YouTube that's doing well in that area that you're talking about, like if I was talking about bass fishing at night and there was a good bass fishing at night video, I would take that video and embed it in my blog post for 2 reasons. One, I give them more information, helpful information, even though it's not mine. I've curated it and I put it on that page. So I'm helping them. The second reason is because now I show Google that I'm embedding a video from YouTube that's not even mine. So they like that because they see that I'm sharing resources. So I think it's a good idea to do that. How long does it take? How many can you write yourself a week before hiring someone? It all depends on your level of writing. If I was to do it personally, it's going to take me longer than someone that doesn't mind writing and that enjoys writing or that is good at it. Even if they don't like it, they're good at it. For me, if I was going to take what I just went through, it's going to probably take me 3 to 4 hours to write that, in all honesty. And I don't even want to attempt that. So I would rather pay someone $25 or $30 to do it for me. But that's where I'm at. But a lot of people look at that and they're like, wow, Scott, you're going to pay $25 or $30. You're building an asset. You're building your brand, right? Everyone wants to do things free. And if you have more time than you do money, then spend the time to do it if you want to. And I'm not saying I have enough money to just, go out there and just do all that I want. But my time is better off doing something else for those 3 hours. I'm going to get paid more than $35 or $30 or whatever to do something else for 3 hours than I am going to be to write that blog post. That's just how I look at it. Plus I can do it faster. So that would be my recommendations there. Hey, Kate, happy Friday to you. D says, I only have H1, H3 and paragraph. Should I go back and add some H2? Not necessarily, D. And again, sometimes you want to leave the post alone. If it's already ranking or it's already indexed, sometimes you just want to leave it alone. The H2 is just going to give it a little bit more of when Google is looking at that page and the robot is scanning it, it's going to pick up that H2 and identify it. So it's going to give it a little bit more weight. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, but I don't know if it's worth going back and changing all of those articles. But it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Do you set up your website analytics? Yes. And that's like almost instantly. because the only analytics I trust are Google Analytics. If you're looking at Ubersuggest, it's always wrong. Whether it's wrong on the high side or the low side, it's just always wrong. So I wouldn't base my analytics on Ubersuggest. It's fun to look at, but I wouldn't base my decision on that. I would always base it on my own website analytics. And there's plugins now that you can just literally plug in for WordPress, and then just connect your analytics account and it'll automatically do it. Derek, the block editor has changed on WordPress. It keeps changing. Yes, it does. And it's annoying, but we got to deal with it. So just deal with it. It will probably calm down and it won't change as much, but yeah, it does change and it gets annoying. Let's see. Okay. Benet, I think it is. I have an Amazon affiliate site with a broad niche. Is it better to keep creating content on only one category of my broad niche, or can I create content on different categories under the same broad niche? Well, if the same broad niche is like outdooradventures.com, and then you're going to talk about fishing and hiking and things related to the outdoors, then yes. But if you're going to do something like outdoor adventures, and then you're going to have stuff on knitting, that would be weird. So I would say, yes, you want your site to be collectively about that main niche, right? And I think Google takes that in consideration because they see all of the other content. You're going to also have more ranking power because your site is dedicated to that one topic or that one niche. So yes, I would recommend that. Yeah. Okay. Alejandro, questions. No, it's questions, how to, products. Okay. That's the 3 buckets. So questions, how to's, and then products. That's the buckets that I would do. I'm going to cancel my Constant Contact account and download all my emails from people that contact me. And I think you're asking because I think you're saying that because you're going to be going to ConvertKit, I think. And I think that's a smart move, Derek. How do you interlink? It's very simple. Actually, there's a tool out there, which if you're just starting, don't worry about it. It's called Link Whisperer. It's from my good friend, Spencer Hawes. It's a WordPress plugin. And that there will allow you to, it will identify through a lot of your old articles and show you where it makes sense to add links. But basically all you would do is, let's say that you've written 5 articles. As you're writing that one article, you're like, oh, I wrote on fishing lures over here. And you're in this article about how can you catch bass at night. In there, you're probably talking about certain fishing lures. You would just then highlight where you said fishing lure, and then that would point to your fishing lures article. That's it. That's an interlink. And then on the fishing lures one, you might talk about these work really good at night, and that there would get linked over to the can you catch bass at night. So you're just cross-linking. And then what happens is if one of those pages gets starts getting some links from other places, which can happen, that link juice now gets carried through that link, and then it connects over to that other page. So it'll help also support that other page. Getting a little geeky on us here by doing that, but let's not worry about that right now. Jason, simple question and disclaimer, not looking for a quick buck or immediate gratification. Once there is momentum, how can a person mass produce? I could imagine it being nice to pump out articles. Very simple. And that's actually what we're kind of doing, Jason, is look at that. I had to push up my glasses for the first time. It's weird. Getting people in place that can write for you, that's how you would do it. So I look at it, I look at this a lot like building a house, being the GC, the general contractor, and then hiring basically contractors to do the work. So if I get one person that could do 1 article a week, maybe 2 articles a week, then that person is going to fulfill that for me, right? Now, if I want to get more, I can either ask them, can you do another article for the week, or is that too much? And then if that is, then I'll find another writer. So that's what you would do. You would just find more writers, and you'd want, I mean, honestly, you probably only need 1 or 2 good writers to punch out 4 or 5 articles a week. I think we have 2 writers right now, and we're getting about, let's see, we had as much as 5 articles per week, sometimes 6, I think. But now we're kind of scaled back a little bit because we're slowing down a little. We want to slow down a little bit because in the beginning, you want to ramp up and then back off a little bit. And then if you want to start ramping back up again, you can, but you kind of want to let the dust settle after you've kind of put a bunch out there. Yeah, I would say that you want to just get more people in place that meet your criteria too. You don't want to punch out, crap. You want it to be good quality. Let's see. Would you market your workshop differently if you were new and had no followers in a brand? Not necessarily. I mean, here's the deal. When you're brand spanking new, you just want to come out and say exactly what you got, what it's going to do for them, and what they got to do next. Like, that's it. That's the simple formula. Like, marketers have been saying that for years, and we all try to complicate it. You would just jump on and be like, hey there, my name's Salma. I actually, over the past 3 years, have been mastering playing the electric guitar. And I've been taking lessons. I've been trying to figure this thing out. And I found that it's really, really hard when you're trying to keep yourself in this, in the scales and all of this stuff. I don't know, maybe you felt like that. But what I've done is I found a really simple way to create music in, less time than if you were to go through all these courses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach exactly what I learned and how you can apply it in this upcoming workshop. So see, here's what I got, what it's going to do for you. The next thing is, if you're interested, go ahead, message me or drop in the comments, I want to play guitar, and I will follow up with you with more information about this workshop if I decide to do it. So you can actually just say, I'm thinking about doing this thing, get some validation, or you can actually literally say, I'm going to do it. So a lot of people want to get crafty with like messaging and like, I got to come up with persuasion or persuasive marketing and all of this stuff. No, just come out and say what they want and what you can give them and what you're going to teach. And then if they're interested, they can sign up. And for that, for a low price point, like $27, $20, $10, whatever you want to charge, it's just, you're not asking for a lot. So no, I don't think that it matters. I think you just have to call it out. What's the problem you're going to help them solve? Like niche, the niche finder fast track workshop, it's going to do exactly what it says. We're going to do one thing. We're going to focus on discovering niches, validating niches, and then building out a roadmap from there for your next steps. Like, that's it. We're not going to talk about content creation. We're not going to talk about, how to optimize your blog post, how to build your email list. That's in the email list building fast track workshop, right? We're going to do a content creation fast track workshop here, probably the next one after this. That's where that would be, right? So everything has to be specific. The problem I see with a lot of people making is going too broad. Try to be very, very specific. Let's see. Would you sell workshop differently if cost was higher? Yeah, of course. If the cost is higher, people need more proof. They need to check with a partner, or they need to make sure that they're going to have the time because it's a 4-week training, or if you're doing something in person, they got to see if they're going to be able to get time off from work, or like all of these things. It becomes harder the marketing will be a little bit harder for something more expensive. So for me, why not try to get a customer? At least they're paying something. And then from there, you can build a relationship and then sell them something later at a higher price if you want to, right? Like, I could sit here and sell you guys Brand Creators Academy for the yearly and say it's $997 for the year. If you want, go get it. But I'd rather have you join one of these workshops, get to know us if you don't know us already, get to see our training, give you some results, right? And then from there, we can work together further. Like, that's how I think it's easier to do that. Someone beat me to the punch. Oh, let's see. And Salma says, sip time. Thank you. If I can see my coffee mug. Hi, Scott. What plugin do you use for your sales page? Leonardo, I'm not sure I'm understanding. Like, we don't use a plugin for the sales page. And I'm just wondering, honestly, the sales page we're using for any type of like ebooks or any of that stuff for like our other brands that we're working on, we're using ConvertKit for a landing page and the sales page. Like, that's it. It's a very simple sales page. For our workshops and stuff and brand creators, we are using Kajabi. is what we're using for that. We've used ClickFunnels. We moved everything to Kajabi about a year and a half ago. Let's see. If I'm getting people to go to my Facebook page, what is the best way to get them to my website and get their email? Well, if they're getting to your Facebook page, you got to give them a reason to go to your website, right, Derek? So it would be something like, just like this, right? If you're here on my Facebook group or the page right now watching this, I would say, hey, do you want to join us in the morning? And you want more useful tips like this, and you want to get insider information about building a brand, go to takeactioncrew.com. See, I've taken you off of Facebook and brought you over to takeactioncrew.com. So that's all that you're going to be doing. You have to bring the attention and give them value first, and then you would offer them to get something else over on your landing page. Let's see. That's a good one. Tony, I'll answer this. How much of your income comes from Amazon compared to 4 years ago? Almost zero. To be honest with you, I just sold my last e-commerce brand that was giving a good majority of that income. But I've since sold that brand. So, and I'm liking that. And we have a little bit of affiliate income coming in from Amazon right now, but yeah. So, I've pretty much, taking the Amazon product stuff and putting that on pause right now. We may add it to another brand. We might not. I'm playing around with Etsy right now, which is kind of fun. Okay, cool. Dan, what's up, Dan? Scott, this is gold. I'm in the same boat as Salma, having just started my company with just one customer. I've said it before, but I love your simple steps of what to do next. Yeah, Dan, I'm glad that you're feeling that and you're getting that, because that's what I am all about. I think people always overcomplicate it because we want to. we just think we have to, but we don't. So yeah, I would say keep it simple, and man, just get something moving. I say this all the time. We can't play the game if we don't get in the game, right? If you're sitting on the sidelines, it's like, man, that'd be fun to get in the game, but we got to actually get in the game. If you build your website, you're kind of starting to get in the game, but then we got to put stuff on the website, right? There's always stuff to add to it to keep the game moving. Email list, content creation, selling digital products, physical products, any of that stuff. It's always stuff that we're doing as we play the game. But if you're just doing research on everything, you're not really playing the game. You're getting ready to play the game, but you haven't actually got in the game yet. So yeah, thank you for that. Would you use Facebook ads to fill your workshop as a beginner or start a Facebook group? I would, if I had the budget, I would run Facebook ads, 100%, 100%. And one way of doing this very, very simply, and I didn't realize we were going to go this long today, but we are. For the Facebook ads, it'd be very simple. The very first thing I would do, I would run one ad going directly to you, explaining what you're going to be teaching, why you're going to be teaching it, what it'll do for them, and what to do next. Like, that's it. Like, very simple. Then I would also run some other Facebook video view ads. So this way here, you're going to build a retargeting audience, and you can get those for very, very cheap. So what does that mean? If you're watching this on Facebook right now, you are becoming part of the retargeting audience. I'm just going to blatantly come out there and tell you that. Now, I'm not intentionally doing these because of that. It's a byproduct of it. If I wanted to intentionally do it, which I have done, I would create a video that's around the workshop that I'm going to be teaching. So if it's niche validation, I may jump on and go, hey guys, here's one tip. If you're trying to validate your niche, you have to make sure that you do this one thing. Here it is. And boom, I lay it out. It's a 7-minute video, 5-minute video, and that's it. And then I might say, if you have any questions on picking your niche, drop it in the comments down below. All I'm doing here is trying to get engagement, and I'm also trying to get video views. When those video views cross certain certain thresholds, you can go 10 seconds, 25 seconds, 50, or not seconds, percentage, 25%, 50%, 75%, 90%. Then what I can do is go, I'm going to run $100 to just my video views. And I'm going to build up this little bit of an audience. And let's say there's 500 people that have watched the video and it cost me $100. And let's say I'm only going to target the people that watched at least 75% or more of the video. That means that they're interested. Then I'm going to run an ad to those people and say, hey, I'm doing a workshop. It's on this. And guess what? It's related to the thing that they watched before. That's how you can then do that. So for $100, put it into video view ads. From there, build a retargeting audience, somewhat of like a list that is kind of behind the scenes. And then from there, target those people. That's what I would do. It'd be a lot faster. Okay. And thanks. Have a great weekend. What are your plans? Plans this weekend. We're supposed to get some snow tonight. And my daughter's got beach volleyball, which is crazy. And I say snow, like maybe an inch here in South Carolina. Crazy. So that's on, that's the plans. And, the rest of the weekend, and we're just kind of hanging low. I might do a little bit of yard work. I don't know. Yeah, not much. Okay, last question here. Would you advise your children starting online to go to Amazon route or niche website? Well, it's always going to, it's not even niche website, it's a niche. So if you're going to go in this thing, go in it. I had someone ask this question, I think it was yesterday, and said, Scott, should I validate the niche first or validate the product? It's always the niche. Unless you're only going to try to sell a product and build your business on one product, right? So it doesn't matter. The Amazon thing, I never did, and I never would say build an Amazon business. That's really risky. Would I tell people to sell products on Amazon if it was the right fit for their brand and they wanted to go down the physical product route? Absolutely. So that doesn't even come into play. We're going to look at the niche. We're going to look at the potential. It's exactly what we're going to be doing in the Niche Finder Fast Track Workshop. It's basically going to be like, let's look at these niches. Okay, let's discover a niche. Let's take that niche now and let's validate that it gets traffic and that it has potential for making money. Okay, and if those two things meet the criteria, once we go through that deep dive, then we start building out the roadmap. But if I get to that point in the validation stage that I validate that there's traffic, but there's no product selling, or there's no ways to monetize, or no one's buying digital products, then I'm probably not going to go into that niche, right? So it always starts with the niche. And then from there, we look at the potential and the opportunities. And this goes for someone right now. Like if you're in, if you've been building your business, a lot of people are building it just on Amazon, and you're like, man, this is getting risky. I really want to take my business and diversify it. Well, then you'd want to validate your market that you're in, or create a sub-market in your niche. And then from there, start building out that brand side of things, because there's more opportunities out there than just selling your physical products. I believe that. And I know that because any product out there usually will lend itself to content and also lend itself to other ways to monetize. There just always is. So anyway, that's what I would say there. Ruth said, we just got an inch of snow here in North Carolina. Yeah, I seen that. Oh, and Derek says, have you added Shopify to your website? No, not these case study ones we're doing, but we did on the one that we just sold. That did get sold with a Shopify store attached. All right, guys. So 2 things here before we wrap this up. If you're interested in joining officially the Morning Crew, then head on over to takeactioncrew.com. You'll also find there's a special player there that will allow you to go through all of the past coffee talks and search for what you're specifically needing help with. All right. So it's there for you. It's totally free. Takeactioncrew.com. The second thing is, if you need help validating your niche, finding your niche, if you don't even know where to start with that, and you want me and Chris Schaefer to work with you for 2 hours, in 2 hours, we will have this whole thing done. You will walk away with a validated niche and a roadmap. If you're interested in that, then drop in the comments. I'm interested. And then what I will do is I will reach back out to you with the details. It's going to be for the first 50 people that register. It'll be $27. And from there, we will be increasing the price after we hit 50. And we will be doing this January 20th, which is on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you cannot make it live, no worries, because there's 2 things that are going to happen. One, it's going to be recorded, and there's going to be a private training area that you're going to have access to all of the recordings as well as the Q&A. The second thing is, we always do a second workshop for attendees. So this way here, we get the cleanest version for ourselves to put in the recordings. And this will be available later, not live, but it'll be available for sale as recordings. One of our fast track workshops in that series. So if you're interested, I would love for you to attend and would love to work with you for a couple of hours and really get you clear on your niche and really feel confident about moving forward. So this way here, you can get in the game and stop, sitting on the sidelines. All right. So, I should probably say this too. Troy, you just jumped in here. Troy, you're in BCA, so you are automatically going to get this. You're automatically going to be invited. I will be sending out details here probably Monday in the group on that, so you'll have that. And Troy, I think you and I are supposed to jump on a hot seat at some point, so we got to set that thing up, and we'll drill in on your specific one in particular. Oh, other thing, last thing. I promise this will be the last thing. For the first 10 people that register, which will probably, like I said, I'm going to send it out to the early bird. If you guys did not get my email this morning, make sure that you check your inbox. I did send an email if you're on my regular email list. And if not, you can always send me an email, scott@brandcreators.com, and I can put you on that early bird list. What I'm doing is for the first 10 people that register, I'm going to do a special private niche validation of your niche. You'll just have to submit it to me, and then I will record a private video just for you that will go through and validate and really give you my thoughts and the assessment on that niche. So that's just for 10 people. It's all I can do it for. It's going to take me some time, but I'm willing to do it for the first action takers, the first 10 action takers. All right. So make sure that you do that. If you're in BCA, you guys know you can always request to get a hot seat, and we can do that during one of those hot seats. I've already done plenty of hot seats. I'll be doing a bunch more, and we always do niche drill downs when we need to. So yeah. So, all right, that's it, guys. That is going to wrap up this coffee talk. I made it through. So you guys think we got A and we got B. I'm not sure which ones I like better looking through. This one here seems like I got less because maybe it's a shorter glass. I got less. Yeah, I don't know. That one there might actually work a little better as far as this might have a little bit more glass. Maybe that's why. Huh. I don't know. A or B? This one here will be A, and this one here will be B. Oh, I was supposed to tell you too. Any of you that care, I'm going to give you the results. I don't post on Instagram hardly at all anymore. I just don't want to be part of that anymore. But yeah, so 65% said A, which are these. 65% said these. And 35%, let's see, said these. And I think you guys were split. So I'll have to look and see. And this was out of 253 people. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to take these off now. Wow. All right, let's put these back on. The doctor said I should wear these all day. All right. Anyway, guys, have an awesome weekend, week. If you're watching this on the replay, do me a favor, drop a comment in there. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about on upcoming coffee talks. Next week will probably be about, I don't know, niche stuff, finding your niche, I think. Why would I do that? Number one, I want to help you. Number two, we're going to be talking about registering for the Niche Finder Fast Track Workshop, of course. Again, these coffee talks, they're also supposed to allow you to see a little bit behind the scenes on what's happening here and how we're doing the brand creators thing. All right. So pay attention. All right, guys, have an awesome day, awesome weekend. And I will see you guys soon. All right. Take care. Take action. Talk to you soon. Wish me luck on these glasses, by the way.